Jesus wants to hear how your day went. All the high stuff, all the low stuff. He wants to hear anything that made you happy today. Tell him. What filled your heart with joy today? Tell that to Jesus. He wants to hear what you're looking forward to. Plans that you're making. Hopes and dreams, ambitions, goals. He wants to hear all that. He wants to hear what you're grateful for. The things that you're like, man, thank you. Thank you for this thing. Thank you for this situation. Thank you for these people. Thank you for these interactions I was able to have. Thank you. He wants to hear everything that you're proud you accomplished. And we don't like to brag about ourselves. We don't like to boast. But we should be okay telling Jesus, like, hey, I'm really glad I did this. I'm really glad that this happened.
Right.
Jesus wants to hear what you're angry or sad about. Even the stuff you're like really angry about. There's a whole category of the Psalms. This is a dork word, but it's the imprecatory Psalms, which is where all the Psalms where the Jewish people would say the stuff that you're not supposed to say. The stuff that you want to happen to your enemies. The dark stuff. And God is saying, yeah, you can't do any of that, but you can tell me you want to. I can take it. We need to have it. Jesus is ready to listen to us. The real us. Jesus is ready to hear about what hurt you. Even when you think you can't tell anybody what hurt you, Jesus is ready to hear it all. Jesus is ready to hear what you feel is impossible and you're struggling to overcome. And sometimes, if we think it's impossible, then we're like, well, then why even say it? Why even pray it? Jesus is still listening to you. Do we believe that, though? We gotta wrestle with that. Do we believe that Jesus is still listening to us? And lastly, if that's the case, how can I listen to the people around me?
Right.
Sometimes we can believe that Jesus is listening to us and no one else cares. Some of you may have a very dynamic prayer life with bad relationships in real life with other people. Because you think, man, I'm happy to offload all that to God, but I don't want to tell anyone else. And what I would say is, whatever listening voice you wish you had, be that for someone else. We have to be like Jesus and show people that someone in this crazy world actually cares and is listening.
Mm-hmm.
So that same list we mentioned of all the people, your family, your coworkers, your classmates, all of those people. One of the ways that we show compassion is to listen and to ask questions like Jesus did. Lauren's great at asking questions. She's a professional question asker. We listen to learn, and we ask questions to listen to learn. You don't listen to find a way to get in there and tell them what you think. We don't ask questions so that we can steer the conversation.
Come on.
We listen to learn,
Right.
and we ask questions so that we can listen and learn. And I've heard three rebuttals. If I spend time listening to someone, they might think I agree with everything they're saying. Number 2, if I spend time listening to someone, they will assume I'm going to do what they want. And number 3, if I spend time listening to someone, then when is it my turn to tell them what I think? The problem is that these questions are really just symptoms that show 2 things. 1, we're out of practice listening. The more you practice listening, the better you get at listening, you'll find that those worries and concerns fade away. You don't take them as seriously.
It's true.
They also point, they're symptoms of the fact that we usually only listen to people that we already agree with. The idea of listening to the other people fills us with this anxiety of the debate stage. Like, why would I even ask them what they think when I know it's just going to lead to a fight? It's like, I get it, but that is literally just going to do this to any community.
Yeah.
So we have to practice listening. We have to practice asking questions of people, even if we're nervous about what they're going to say. We gotta dig in there. Jesus looked, and people felt seen. Jesus listened, and people felt heard. Now, next week, we're going to talk about how Jesus also said some pretty intense things. And he spoke the truth to people. And that was part of the way he loved people.
Right.
But my warning, I guess, my cautionary note to you guys, is if you think that love starts with giving people the hard truths, but it hasn't built on a foundation of looking and listening,
Come on.
you're going to find you're just going to leave a wake of hurt relationships behind you.
Yep. Talk about it.
But if you can show, hey, I want to be like Jesus. Jesus is my Lord, so I want to live the way Jesus lived. He looked at people and he saw them. They felt seen by him. He listened to people. They felt heard by them. And then, built on that foundation of love and trust, he was able to say the things that needed to be said.
Amen.
Amen? Guys,